Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jargus Ranger Review. And this week we'll be taking a look at episode 4 of Megaforce, Ranger Ranger. Now it starts off with a little bit more vivid and detailed depiction of the Great War from Gokaiger. Only this time Troy's having the dream in his sleep. Seems that at almost every episode he has some kind of vision of it, but what does it mean? And so after that we have the theme song, and it opens up at the juice bar, where he and G are like recycling a bunch of like milk cartons or something. Just kind of like how they would volunteer with everything back in the Mighty Morphin days. But why they are there, they see some guy who is pretending that he is the Red Ranger so he could just gain attention from the people around him. Trying to show off. And none of the other Rangers really care about him. Anyway, Troy goes and he contemplates on this dreams he's having. He comes to the conclusion that he needs a way to get stronger, so he takes all the cartons he was going to recycle and hangs them up like in the middle of the forest and blindfolds himself. Tries moving around, doing his own kind of martial arts training. So far, he's the only one of the Rangers that actually tries to improve himself so far. So in the meantime, the War Stars send a new monster called Dragonfly, who can apparently move extremely fast. And it's one of the rare times we see a complete buildings being destroyed easily by a lone monster that hasn't been grown big. Notice that Tenso just tries to have the Rangers called for about 5 seconds, and then he goes straight off to fight them. That's one thing I've noticed this season. You don't really do much of the command center. You just see like aside from the first episode, you just see like a few seconds of them saying there's a problem, and then the Rangers go off to deal with it. Their presence hasn't really done much aside from introduce their powers, which is a bit unusual for a season of Power Rangers, but it's been working so far, so I'm not really gonna complain about that. While they're about to head out, the other Rangers, someone runs in there and claims that there's a monster attacking, so of course the Faker is going to have to join in the fight. And of course, he almost gets killed, but luckily the real Red Ranger shows up and saves him, and he runs away. And of course, this monster Dragonfly is too fast for him to see, except for Troy, who is paying attention to the movements in the wind and was able to strike him. But before the fight can continue, one of the War Star generals, I think his name was Creepox, I didn't quite catch his name, so that might be wrong, interferes and attacks the Ranger because he notices that he's actually a very good fighter and could be a threat against him. So he interferes while Dragonfly gets away, and that was a weird sentence. So the guy, they tell him not to do what they are doing because you need special training. And so they head off. And this time Troy is showing them the training he went through just earlier in the episode. And of course the guy follows him in the middle of that forest. Turns out his name is Jordan. Luckily they know he's coming, they hear him, and so they morph before he can see their identities. And I really like that for it because I wasn't sure if he was going to see them or not. And so he tries their training but is way too incapable of doing it. So he sees that he can't really do anything and he lays low while they finish the fight. So when they find Dragonfly again, they try attacking him. But of course Creepox appears and blocks the Red Ranger. And so while Dragonfly thinks he's got a free shot, the other Rangers come out and strike him down quickly, which is actually something I didn't expect to see, so that was very cleverly done. And so while they handle him, it shows Troy fighting Creepox, and he pretty much gives a speech about how insects were here before humans and are better after humans, which means nothing because he's an alien from space who that doesn't even make a difference for him. And so Troy just responds with a speech of how they always keep on training and getting better and keep getting stronger and they won't lose. So eventually Creepox heads away, avoiding defeat for a while. And so the Sea Brothers from the last episode help their blasters so they can finish off Dragonfly. And of course, after that they becomes big. I'm tripping over my words today, don't know why. And so when trying to fight Dragonflay inside the Megazord, Troy is weakened from his battle, so he can't operate it as well. And so then Jake and Gia take control of the Megazord. And since they power the feet, they can move it faster and keep up with Dragonflay. But not close enough, that is until they activate their power and they get the Land Brothers Zords, a beetle, a drill, and a dinosaur. And so they finish him off with another victory charge. This time it's jumping through him with a drill foot. Kind of reminded me of Kamen Forza there. Once it's defeated, it goes back to Juicebro and Jordan confesses that he was lying the whole time. Now the people that got around him they just walk away, they don't care anymore. So he just walks up to the counter and Troy's already there and he says, "Hey, that took courage to do it, way to go." And it's like, thanks, I was inspired by the Red Ranger. And of course he doesn't reveal who he is, but I don't know who that guy is, but he's pretty much kind of like the Ernie of this series, and he drops a milkshake or something and Jordan catches it easily. And so, considering he's introduced early on and showing some skill, I have a feeling that they might make him a regular character and eventually become the 6th Ranger. Though considering the way Saban's doing this, I don't know how it's worked out because it's going to transition into Gokai about midway through, which means that most of the first half of this is just going to be introducing every power and Zord and whatever that there was in Ghost Ranger, and there was a ton of them, so I'm not sure how they plan on doing that if they're going for another split season like with Samurai. But who knows? They've been building up to it so far, so could be quite impressive. Overall, this is still a good episode, and it's building up and foreshadowing to things that are probably going to pay off into the end. So, this is another good episode. I'm going to get at least a 9 out of 10. Anyway, that was the end of this Ranger review. Now, I'll see you back next week for the latest episode. Thanks for watching, and until then, everybody.